breast in my hand and it
should
covered
fit,
my hand,
consume it.
it should right.
But
if
this breast was. Open your hand.
What? That breast wasn't like that. I ain't thinking about you. You know, people need to stop telling tales. People need to stop telling tales. Don't tell that tale.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
It was about like that. So the double.
Okay, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Okay. Well, I don't know. They could be injecting antibiotics. You know, some. You know, with the Amish, they'll tell you straight out, and I think with Purdue chickens also, they tell you straight out on the package, no antibiotics or anything like
the
that.
Amish don't believe in any type of preservatives or anything of that nature.
So that could be why.
One, and I'm gonna see the consistency of the tenderness within it. If it ain't right. Because there's something wrong with the hamburger meat too. If you try to do that 90-10, no, the 90-10% of beef and fat,
I don't know.
that 90-10 ain't right. It's tough. It's just not right. You gotta go either 80-20. And then they got an 88.
But if you don't want hamburger meat, you just go to the next level. You go to the ground round.
That's what somebody has said.
Okay.
You know, they got ground chuck.
Right.
Then they got ground round.
Then they got ground sirloin.
They got ground sirloin.
Okay.
It's different parts of the cow that they have ground up.
Oh,
you know,
right.
It
that
just
are more linear,
right, than the other part.
That's what I need to start looking at.
Because my mother likes ground round, or she likes ground chuck because it doesn't have that fatty.
And if you think about it, chuck. If you have a chuck steak or a chuck roast, it's ground chuck.
Right.
If you have a ground round, it's the round. It's the actually the roast, the round roast.
Is that like the buttocks, or is that coming from the stomach?
I'm not the butcher.
It's coming from the same thing that you get the roast from. Have you ever made a roast?
I have.
So it's the same thing. It's just ground up.
Right. And then the sirloin, if you have a sirloin steak or a sirloin roast, you see that there's not much marbling in it. Correct. So it's just all meat. So that's ground sirloin.
Yeah.
So that's what you actually looking at when you looking at ground beef or ground chuck or ground round or ground sirloin or something like that. That's what you're looking at. You're actually looking at the roast of the cow that's been ground up. So that's
that's our conversation this morning.
The price of everything. The price of everything has went up.
Yes, it has.
So
even Uber, did you hear Uber is going to, because they're running into problems because drivers are quitting Uber because of the gas prices, because they can't afford to Uber. And so now they're going to go up on the Uber so they can give the drivers more money to compensate
Y'all better go buy a
the
car.
gas.
Seriously.
And then they're saying that it will only be temporary. It won't be something that permanently happen.
Listen, it's just good to just go ahead and save you about $15 to $2,000 and go on to the auction and get you a little ride, because it's gonna be much cheaper. You put that little Uber money together, by the time you spend $23 to go from this place to that place, you be done spent that money in a car. So sometimes it's just about a sacrifice. Get on that bus and pay that bus ticket, which is what, about
$2. No, it's $2.
It's $2. It's still cheaper than an Uber.
Well, with the $2 now, you know when I caught the bus years ago, I ain't gonna say years ago because I just recently caught the bus maybe a year or two ago, and you would have to get a transfer and all like that. But now when you pay the $2, they give you a little card, and the card is good for 4 hours either way.
Oh wow! Okay.
You know,
I thought it was $2 for 4 hours and
that's what I
$4 all day.
I said that $2 for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And you can go either way.
But then,
at $4, you could ride
24 hours.
The 24 hours.
Okay.
So they don't do transfers anymore. You just put the card in there and pull it back, card back, and then when you get to the next bus route, you just put the card in there, and there's not that. I remember putting that little 50 cent. Make sure you had the quarter, whatever, to get that little paper transfer. Don't lose that little paper transfer.
Wow, you can't get on the next ride.
You can't get on the next ride. You had to pay a whole new thing.
Which I like because remember when you had the transfer, if you was riding more than the second bus, you had to purchase another transfer.
No, you said double.
Oh yeah, you said double.
And then they put the little hole in it, and then you take that same transfer and go to the next bus.
But then it only lasted. It didn't last for no 4 hours.
No, because wherever he pulled that thing off, that little time. I remember that little paper transfer. That little time was right there. Now, if I got that transfer at 1 and he pulled that thing up and he let it off at 4, then that's how long the transfer was, because I said double, because I tell him, I need to transfer. And he said, well, you getting on another bus? Yeah, and then I had to get on another one. So he said, okay, you say double. I know that. And you double it, and you can use it on the, if you're catching 3 buses. Mm-hmm. But with the little card, like you said, if you put $4 in there now, you get the little card, and you can ride all day. So if you had to be at work, and when you get off work, you didn't have to purchase another ticket. You just use the same ticket. So what
I'm going to say about that, then, I know we are in a more of a faster generation, and we need to get where we need to get, and we need to get there pretty fast. Because none of us want to really get up early and just wait that time out. It's cold, I understand all that, but it's so much cheaper to get to use the bus. It's $2 for 4 hours.
It is cheaper. You're right.
4 hours for all day.
But it depends. And you won't spend
but what I'm saying is, by the time I spend 20, and I'm telling you because I just did it. Mm-hmm. My daughter stays. I don't know how many blocks this is, Janora. She stays at Ryan. I stay on the other side of 75 in DeQuinder. It cost me $23 one way to Uber her to me.
From Ryan to your house?
From Ryan to my house. And that is not that far of a distance.
No, I think she could have walked.
But you see what I'm saying?
But
it's not that far of a distance.
I think Lyft is cheaper than Uber.
It doesn't matter because they both... No,
it does.
And it's not. Lyft is actually not cheaper. Uber is actually cheaper. But Lyft has had the most consistency in
picking you up
and getting. Uber for some reason kind of went off the rings for about a moment.
But I thought Lyft was if you don't want it right away.
They have that with Uber now too. So the right away price was like $20. And that was the 5-minute one, and I'm gonna tell you something about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for bringing that up because I just did this the other day. I appreciate you. The right away price was $23. Mm-hmm. The right away price was $33. The 15-minute one was $23. Mm-hmm. Do you know when I hit that 23 one?
It went up.
Nope. The guy clicked in and said, "I'll be to you in 3 minutes." So don't get fooled by that.
No.
Right.
Don't get fooled by that. And he was there at Tiana's house in 3 minutes.
But
so there's some tricks to this thing.
I know that, and I just put it on blast. I know one time I rode the Grand River bus, and the man was going 5 miles an hour. It took me over an hour
to get where you need
to get where I was going. I was so sick and tired of being on that bus.
But you know
and
what?
I was late for work, and I got to the bus stop early, but he decided to go on the side and just go 5 miles.
But I'm gonna tell you why that happened.
Okay.
At that time. Now, how long ago was that now? Because
that was just 2 years ago.
Oh, that's just 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
I remember her was on the bus
when they stole my car.
Yeah,
that was 2 years ago. Well, and so I was like, for real? I said to myself, and it's just going straight down, going from Lasser, because it's called Lasser, not Lasher. Lasser and Grand River.
Oh, Grand River.
All the way downtown. And so he don't have to, make no turns
or nothing like that.
He decided
he was doing something. He
decided
to go
that bus probably wasn't
miles
working
an hour.
Oh, it probably wasn't working.
Because the Detroit, DDOT, the Department of Transportation of Detroit, whatever you want to call it. They got raggedy buses. They had raggedy buses. Well, I take that back. They probably still got raggedy buses because they can't find anybody to fix them. So that might have been as fast as the doggone bus could go.
Because Sienna took her for about a whole year, and she would get out there on that bus, and she'd get on there, get her little card that y'all talking about, jump on her next one. She had no problems. She didn't like it because it was cold, but she didn't like it. But I guess it's unfortunate that does something. Okay, so it's not perfect. The buses are not perfect.
No,
but
I did
one
like
thing
it
for sure. You won't be paying $23 for one ride.
No, I did like it when I lived in Farmington. Reason why I liked it when I lived in Farmington in the winter, because I could leave out of my door. I could go right across the street. I could get on the bus, and I could read. And it was a wonderful just ride.
I'm about to say, because if you get on the bus, I mean, because I've been trying to get on the bus since my car been down. Gone, or whatever you want to call it, but I think the bus experience, you get cozy in your seat.
Yes, you do.
If you got earbuds, put your earbuds on.
If you ride a smart bus.
If you riding it, well, you can even do it for the Detroit. It's gotten a little better.
It's gotten a little better.
Yeah, and put it on, because
I get kind of frightened when the police is following us.
Well, I don't get that. Well, when they get on the bus, I settle in.
I get kind of frightened when the police is following us.
But you just
feel like it was trouble because the police is only following because it was trouble on the bus.
And they gotta stop the bus, and they gotta make their rounds. They gotta get on the bus
and walk to the back,
and then walk to the front. And you say to yourself, "Okay, what is happening here?"
But that's what I'm saying, because it's just one bus that I have to take now. I just go and I get to exercise because I just walk up to Van Dyke. Go across the train tracks. Bus stop is right there. The bus come, and the Van Dyke bus is pretty decent. And then it go down to 8 Mile. Then I get off at 8 Mile, cross 8 Mile to the smart bus on Van Dyke. And you ride the bus, come around the corner, and you settle in. And the bus stop is right there at the front of my job. And I can get off and get on in work.
Yeah, well, because you right at Van Dyke.
I'm right at Van Dyke.
Yeah,
so it's just a straight shot.
So it's just a suggestion, people. I mean, we think we're making it. Oh, I'll just Uber, but we're really wasting a lot of money. And by the time you take about 2 months of the bus, maybe, and the money you've saved, you done got you $2,000 to go to the auction and get you a vehicle.
So.
And I say that people's like $2,000. I bought a little Hyundai or whatever it was, little Vibe. I bought a Honda Vibe, something like that. That car I bought 8 years ago. I don't even remember the year of that car. It was already an older model car. It is still running today, and I only spent $1,200 at the auction.
There ain't nothing wrong with getting you a little.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, and it's still running today. My niece is driving it today. So, and it was a foreign car, so I don't know if that matters. I'm sure that probably does. And then, of course, how you care for it.
You said it was a Honda?
It was a Honda.
Yeah, Honda, the body would be rusted, but the engine would be good as gold.
That's like a Volvo.
Yeah, good as gold.
So,
people say Volvos are forever.
Yeah.
So, I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead.
Well,
you look really pretty in polka dot. I wanted to say that to you. You look really pretty in polka dot. I like you in polka dot.
You like me in polka dot?
Yeah.
I didn't know it's polka dots or is it stripes make you, and it depends on how you wear the stripes, make you look bigger. But you ain't got no stripes.
I don't wear polka dot or a stripe, but I will try it. This blouse is really gorgeous because I love anytime my arms are accentuated. I love the way that arm is made. Now, what I would do with this blouse is, you see how my blouse is, I would bring it off the shoulders.
Well, it's too cold to bring it off. I can bring it off the shoulders, but it's
never too cold for a woman.
Yeah,
sure. Promise you, I'll wrap up.
It's too cold.
My scarf is right there.
I'm not showing my shoulder.
My scarf is right
trying
there.
Trying to be cute and curious and catch pneumonia.
But in the summer times, it would be cute, though, right?
It would, and it's a lightweight shirt.
Yes, I like it.
And to tell y'all the truth, I only paid. This was $15 at Walmart.
Okay.
Walmart is getting better.
Yeah, but I like you in polka dot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't know if I wanted to wear.
Yeah, she being fast.
I was going to wear my pearls. But then I said, no, let me try dangly today. So I'm just going to stay with the dangly.
Yeah, she got a hot date or
So,
something?
Janoris, I'm going to tell you what I need this week is I need a string of pearls. A string. When someone tells you to wear a string of pearls, they're not talking about a whole bouquet.
No, they're talking about a string.
Okay.
It's called a strand.
So we're going to get you a string. We'll get you a
called a strand.
Before Thursday. Okay.
A strand of pearls.
She needs a string of pearls.
No, it's called a strand of pearls.
Oh, it's called a what?
A strand.
A strand of pearls.
There you go.
A string, a strand.
So I thought about getting, because Diva has a person that makes different, types of
and she's
jewelry.
a wonderful person. She is a psalmist. She's a pastor. Pastor Kim. Her name just preceded me.
Well, Pastor Kim, if you listen and she forgot your name, Tenna needs a strand of pearl.
But she makes more creative type.
That's why I'm asking Janoris to help me with a strand of pearls.
There you go. A strand of pearls. That means one. One just, there you go.
Because I was going to get off. I was going to get real boom with it. But I said, you know what, I think this
You know what, that's why I like the Breakfast at Tiffany looks with Audrey Hepburn. Because everything she wore in that movie, and if I have a chance, look at it. Everything she wore in that movie is now classic look.
It is.
You know,
love the hat.
Love the hat.
Love the gloves.
Love the gloves. The simple black dress with the strand of pearls. Just the simple dark black sunglasses that she wears. The white shirt. You know, everything she wears in that movie, there was nothing flamboyant or overbearing about anything that she wore. So I know why you need the strand of pearls, but you have to understand that there's an elegance behind a strand of pearls.
You know what
there's
making
a
me
polished
think about
look.
this is the actor that just played in that movie about the going to space. What was the one? How the African American women were a part of the first spaceship going. Hidden Figures.
Oh, Hidden Figures. Oh,
and when she told him, she said, "God knows we can't afford a strand of pearls."
Well, and that's what I'm saying. A strand of pearls, if they're really, you go to the shop. Pearls are very expensive.
They truly are.
I just looked at a documentary, and the man was getting all of the clams, it was clams. And when a lot of people order clams and don't know if you actually have to, don't suck it up too quick. Because you have to pop it, and the pearl is actually embedded in the meat of the clam.
It is.
Wait a minute, Janoris. Now say what you just said again. The what is in the who? And what
the
you
pearl
doing with it?
This is the clam, and you pry the clam open and you have the meat of the clam. If you feel around there and you feel something hard, that's a pearl, and all you have to do is squeeze it, and the pearl will actually pop out.
Okay,
that's
so
what
y'all excuse me, Facebook, excuse me, Facebook, excuse me, Radio Land. Listen, I did not know. So I want to be clear on what I'm hearing. Are you saying that pearls come from? We're talking about real pearls.
Yes.
Real pearls.
They come from clams.
Yes, they do.
Y'all said pearls is in clams. You know what? I did not know this. Yes, until it's 48 years. You will be 48 this year. I did not know that clams had the pearls. Now I need to buy some clams.
Let me ask you this. Where did you think pearls came from?
I had no clue. I'm thinking they came out the ground like diamonds. No, I didn't know.
And diamonds are cultivated from water and minerals that are,
Right.
But yeah, pearls come from clams.
So clams we eat. That come out the water.
Yes. Yes.
God, you are amazing. Oh my God.
That's why they're so expensive. Now every clam not gonna have a pearl.
Oh, okay.
Okay, every clam not gonna have a pearl, but when you find that clam, and then that's when you have the pearls that aren't. I just looked at this documentary. I'm gonna tell you the name of it so you can look at it. And the pearls are perfectly round, but there are some that aren't perfectly round.
And those are priceless.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all better get with my Jesus. He's amazing.
He is totally amazing.
Gracious alive.
Because one of my mentors, Charlene Beard, she's traveled all over the world. and her gift to me was a real strand of pearls that came from Seoul, Korea.
Oh, okay.
It came from Seoul, Korea.
Wow.
So that means it's a whole clam business out here.
It is.
Just like it's a diamond business. People are out here collecting clams
and getting pearls and eating the clams.
And if they find a black one, that's really considered priceless. Yeah. They found a black pearl that's considered one of the most priceless pearls of them all.
Yeah, wow. It's like you said, it's amazing how God does things, how He enriches our lives with things, and we just take things. Just like you said, you didn't know where pearls came from, but look how amazing that a clam that has lived in the water for maybe hundreds of years have created inside of themselves this pearl, which is just calcification and other things that have and it comes out perfully round.
My God. I'm flabbergasted.
That's how God got a flabbergasted.
I truly want a strand of pearls.
Of real pearls, yes. Yes.
It's
I don't think she's going to give you a real strand.
No, I know, not this week. But I'm saying.
She ain't going to get no real strand of pearls. They going to look nice, but she ain't going to get no real strand.
I know, not this week.
I love her, but she ain't getting no real strand of pearls. No.
But she looked excited like she gonna buy me a strand of pearls.
No. I just eventually I'll be investing in that because of the rarity of that piece. I just didn't know. Like I knew everybody talk about diamonds all the time, but you don't really hear people talking about the cultivation of pearls and where that comes from. So. At least it wasn't in my world. It wasn't in my DPS.
But it used to be when I was little. Your parents or your grandparents, they bought you a strand of pearls.
Yeah,
they bought that to you. That was usually like a sweet 16.
I was just about to say
they bought you a small strand of pearls. And right,
but you know what? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You can get pearls. I mean, there's clarity, just like you have different grades and different carats and different A, B, C in the diamond world. There's different classifications in the pearls, also. So a strand of pearls can be comparable, or they can be expensive.
This is really powerful to our culture because I didn't know what April just said. Yeah, this is something that they was doing at young girls when they're 16. And I think it's something that we probably should have continued. We do need to know the finer things in life.
We do.
A lot of times we don't have that educational piece to our African American children to understand that there's rarity in life.
Well, see, and that's the thing with debutante balls. Yes. We don't have debutante balls anymore. I think Carmen Edwards, I think she still has a what you call it, a cotillion ball.
Yes, along with Rhonda Walker, she has in a sense, for her girls, she has in a sense because she has a program. Okay, and when the girls go through the program, they have like a cotillion or a debutante that she sponsors once a year.
Right, awesome. And see that was the highlight
for a long time. She's been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was the highlight back in in my era, that when you turned 16, you were part of a debutante. And usually the debutante ball was either through a women's club or your church, and then you had the debutante ball and you would have the beautiful white gown with the long over the elbow gloves, and you would have a young man to be your escort, and it was...
and the military ball.
But now my daughter was a part of the military ball when she turned 16, when she was going to Osborne. And she went to the military ball, and she was very excited about that. We got her the dress and did her hair and everything. And those were the things that you actually, because you were part of the ROTC, or there was a young man that was a part of the ROTC, and that's when you went to the military ball. And it's a lot of things that have just fallen by the wayside that people don't do anymore.
Which they should.
Which they should. And that's how you actually get, I feel, that's how young people get a lot of character now. because they get to go to these things and they get to experience these things. And when they don't get to experience these things, they don't know the value of these things. You know, a strand of pearls, a corsage, a boutonniere, you know, a tux with a bow tie, long sleeve gloves.
I used to love my gloves. I used to love. I had both. I had the small glove with the ruffle,
around the edges,
and then I had the long gloves. And so I used to love to wear my gloves. Wear my gloves, you know, and you know, my godmother, she just was a wonderful person. That she was like, you don't have to wait to a ball to wear your gloves. You can wear your gloves to church. And,
when so, I was staying with my grandmother, and I think I told you before, all of my dresses, they never hung on a hanger because my grandmother didn't like the hanger hook things in my dress. You know, because they were wire hangers back then. They weren't she would lay my dresses in a chest. The chest would be about half size of this thing, and then everything that I needed to the socks were laid on top of the dress along with the gloves. If that dress required a glove that my grandmother felt, then that's what. And then she would go in the chest and she would go through the dresses, and she would always have my little white gloves with the ruffle around the edge that I would have to wear with that dress, along with the little purse that I would carry, you know. And the shoes were always underneath the chest because there was a drawer underneath the chest that she laid my church shoes out. I had two pair of white patent leather shoes, 2 pair of black patent leather shoes, and then I had a pair of black patent leather shoes that they call the Mary Janes that had a high back. This girl was sharp.
Okay,
a little girl.
That's what it sounded like.
This girl was sharp. But see, what do we have to do with our children? We've lost that.
We've lost that, G. That has been lost.
You know,
and it's unfortunate. And I don't know if it was in the migration of, you know, African Americans coming from the South to the North, and we just kind of got into this fast-paced kind of world and just kind of it fell off. I don't know, but it didn't. I didn't see any of that in my family, and it's 7 girls. The only time that we've had those type of dresses and those type of scenarios were on Christmas, was on Easter. Now my mommy's in town. I'm going home to talk to my mom. But
I think we made it out of a chore instead of a luxury. Okay. Instead of something pleasant, we made it out of a chore. We made, you know, that's like people don't like black and white, wearing a white shirt, black skirt. Girl. You know, like, look at your face. But I remember when I was
tell you in a minute why I looked like that too.
I remember when I was a real little girl, when I was in the children's choir. Yeah, we was like, wore. I got to get my pretty, and it had to be white. It had to be white.
Would just throw the whole choir off.
It had to be white.
You got on yellow.
It had to be white, and my grandmother always wanted me to have one with the ruffle or whatever, and those ruffles were starched.
Yeah,
where they was like standing up.
Yeah,
and they really and the skirt, the black skirt, if it had any piping, that piping was it had a crease in it, and we had our little white tights, you know, and our shine black shoes, and we thought that we was popping. You know, it was like, yes, I'm gonna put on my white shirt and my black skirt, and I'm gonna sing for Jesus. Yeah. But when it became a requirement, where it was required of us without any type of validity to it, I think that's where it lost its kind of flavor. Right. That if you didn't come to church wearing black and white, you was looked at crazy.
Right.
But, and that's not what.
But you know, and that's the thing, you know, because that's when you had to have your slip on. You have to have your undershirt on.
Yes,
you know,
you did.
Everything had to be smooth on you.
It did.
You know, there was no wrinkles, no buckles, or nothing like that.
And you were really proud of when you got dressed.
Oh gosh, yes.
You thought you was something.
Right.
I'm so glad we're talking about this. I know this is probably really unnormal from what Miss G was going to talk about today, but it is International Women's Month, so it was really perfect to talk about, because we're really looking at, it's not about, I guess, are we saying let's get back to the elegance of being a lady and grooming our girls?
Well, you know what? And I feel like that's why I'm such a girly girl at 62 years old.
Yes.
Because my grandmother, my mother, the slips had to be on. And as I got older.
And you had more than one slip.
And I had more than one slip.
You had more than one slip.
As I was growing up, even with my mom, me and my sister both, we had 2 slips and a half slip.
Yes.
So you had the 2 full ones. Okay.
We had 2 full slips and a half slip.
One was black and one was white.
And one was, exactly. The half slip was white. We had 1 full black slip and 1 full white slip. And you wore those slips in accordance to what you had on. Mm-hmm. Even if you had on a skirt that had a lining, you still had a slip.
You did.
And then they taught you the colors, so you knew not to wear a white slip with certain colors.
Yellow, black, pink, all of those required a black slip.
So you couldn't see through.
So you couldn't see through it. Anything else you can wear the white slip. But and I'm gonna say this, that is culture.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
That is culture for black women.
It truly is.
You
didn't have an Easter without a slip.
You didn't have an Easter. For young men, even with my brothers, when they put on a shirt, guess what? They had an undershirt underneath.
And it was different undershirts.
Yes. You either had a short sleeve undershirt or what we call now a wife beater. Mm-hmm. There were certain undershirts that you had to wear as a young man underneath your shirt, There was, and my grandfather taught my brothers, no, get the tie.
Yes.
Nope, you wearing a bow.
Yes.
The bow tie. Mm-hmm. As we grew up, even with my mom and my sister, we came downstairs. Now, it was 5 of us, and we had to get ready for church, and we all had to get on that church bus. When that church bus showed up, we had to be ready. But if we came downstairs and something wasn't right, Mom would tell you, get upstairs right now and put that other slip on. Or go ahead and put that other. Why do you have that dress on and it's wrinkled?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you wasn't going to put that on.
You wasn't going to put that on.
That wasn't going to happen.
That wasn't going to happen. Because you had Saturday night to get your stuff laid out.
You did. And it had to be right.
And it had to be right. You just didn't wake up willy-nilly with your hair and come out the house with your hair all over your head.
Oh, no.
And your face ain't washed, you ain't brushed your teeth.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Not even.
So that's what I'm saying. The culture now, everything now is very different.
It is.
It's very different. What are we teaching? Are we teaching our children any dignity for themselves? And I'm not just talking about young black women, I'm talking about young black men too. What kind of dignity are we teaching our children? Twerking.
But that's like I remember my son was going for an interview, and when he went for an interview, one of his friends was going for an interview too. And so I taught my son how to dress for an interview. Mm-hmm. And so it was for AutoZone. Mm-hmm. And so his friend came to the house. He said, we're going to ride together. And Austin said, my mama not going to let us ride together. And he was like, well, we going to the same place to submit an application. He said, no, you don't go with no friend.
You don't go with no
and
friend.
The friend had on just some jeans and a wrinkly little shirt because he thinking it's AutoZone. Well, my son had on a nice pair of dress pants, a nice pair of shoes, a dress shirt, and that day, because you could do that, he wore a dress vest because it was nice out. He wore a dress vest, and he put a tie on underneath, to show that vest. And his friend was like, dude, you only gonna work at AutoZone. What you doing? And so my son said, I know what I'm doing. So at the end of the day, my son got the job at AutoZone, and his friend didn't. His friend didn't get the job.
It matters.
Because I told him it matters. First impressions matter.
First impressions are lasting impressions.
It is.
And just like that scenario, your son had on, he was dressed.
Yes.
His friend, I'm going to dress like I think they're going to dress at
AutoZone.
You don't have a job at AutoZone right now, fella. You trying to
And
get the
AutoZone,
job.
I think they wear a shirt. They
have a uniform.
Yeah.
But you know, and that's what, okay, times have changed. I understand that. I know you're doing Zoom interviews now. But like I just said, first impressions are lasting impressions. They'll remember you because you were dressed up more so than me. And when I just had on a T-shirt and I'm sitting in front of the camera trying to, no, they'll remember April more so than they'll remember,
And I told my son, you gotta look the part, because do you just want to be a cashier at AutoZone, or do you want them to see you as a leader? Because
exactly.
If they see you as a leader, then their mind will calibrate. Oh, wait a minute, he more than just a cashier, or he more than just a stock person. I said, you want them to see you in a great light, even though they may only be hiring for a cashier or a stock person, but you want them to see you
that I'm bigger than
bigger than that, and they, in their mind, they may say, well, we could groom him for the manager's position,
right.
or we could groom him for this and this and this, or
right.
we could groom him for a team lead,
right?
You have to put that impression in their mind.
You know, it was a thing for me to always, when you go for a job and they sit there with your resume and they go, or your application, and the best thing that I knew I would get the job is when I would see them write on my application or write something. And then for the last 2 jobs, I job hopping.
It's all right.
They wrote rate. And then when they wrote rate, they asked one other question. Then they said, well, how much do you feel, And for me, when they asked me that, I got it.
That's a done deal.
It's a done deal. But see, that's what I'm saying. I know it's done now. It's different now because they're doing virtual.
But even with virtual, you have to look the part. You have to dress the part.
You do.
You have to present that presentation to them. Even if you do it from the waist up.
Right.
Even if you do it from the waist up, you have to have that first impression is a lasting impression.
Is a lasting impression.
If you got kids in the background you hollering at, and they seeing Jimmy acting crazy in the background while you having an interview, they hear the TV and they hear it loud to the soap operas, and you tell them Pookie and Ray and them, hold up.
You in the yes ma'am, stop.
It happens though.
You do.
I had one at one point, and she was like, excuse me, but I'm at the hospital, so if you hear some noise and stuff going on, and I'm like,
she at the hospital.
You at the hospital? I don't know what she was doing there.
She probably was scared that if she rescheduled that she would miss out. So I can understand that. Okay. But if you home and you got this interview, then you need to make sure Pookie and Ray them is with your mama.
Lock them in the closet, something
for that time, and you have it planned. You got your notebook out. You ready. You look the leadership part. Your hair is combed. You got clean clothes on from the waist up, because you ain't got to worry about the waist down. Unless you stand up.
Right.
And that you ready to interview.
What they gonna ask me to stand up for now? That's just a little bit too much. I'm not going.
I want to see your dress.
You're not going to see what that got to do with the job that I'm applying for.
Can they ask that? Would that be legal or illegal?
I don't think so in a video one. Because in a video one, they only want to see.
Yeah, why you want me to stand up?
What about animals? Because I done been with dogs barking and my dog.
No, the dog should be it should be. You're so funny. You're so funny. It should be like a real interview. It should be. You put your best foot forward. I'm very creative.
With that mud outside.
I'm very creative. I wear my uniqueness. I've been unique all of my life. But when it come down to an interview, guess what? The hair is dark brown. I got on one ring. I got on one watch. I got on the power blue, even if it's from the up and down. I got on a white shirt. I got on a blue jacket. And I am sitting there polished
with your underwear.
Maybe with my underwear on.
Never know.
Never know. And I have my resume to the one side, and I have notes, because now you had a positiveness.
You have to know something about that
because the first thing that they're gonna, not the first thing, but they're gonna ask you somewhere in that interview, well, what can you do for us?
Right.
You know, what can you bring to our company?
Yes.
Or they'll say, what have you heard about our company, and if so, what?
And that's exactly.
Yes.
You always read about the company that you have the interview for. You know, because that's one thing. That's a selling point also. Well, I've heard about Flex and Gate, and I see that they are very minority driven.
You're big in the community. I know you do a lot for African Americans.
And they get the right. And when they get the right, and okay.
She did her research.
She did her research.
And it's good to, when you're telling a little bit about yourself, if you've read their mission and vision, pull a little of those nuggets out of there
and use them,
and use those in your when you're talking about yourself.
Exactly.
Now, don't be lying. Now, if you know you ain't that, don't.
Because I have told one company, and I think they thought I was something. They thought I thought I was something too. But when they went to talking, I said, I'm so very sorry, but I don't think I am what you need.
Oh.
Be honest. Don't get hired and then you get in there and you don't know what to do, and then they got to start all over. You got to,
We had a lady that told us, because she had been a clinician for years, and so the position she was hiring for was under $60,000. Is a starting rate of $50,000, and she said, "Well, I know that I'm worth more than $60,000, so I'm not going to be what you need." She knew that off rip.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, when you know your worth, that's good.
Just do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
But it's just so important that you be prepared, that you be totally prepared, and in that, going back to your statement, we don't have that. We don't. When I worked in that field, one of the rewarding things when I worked in the field of human service was I would have a class in regards to going to an interview, and I would have certain companies that I could send Pookie to, and they would put Pookie up in a business attire for him to do interviews, because he was not trained. He didn't know what a dress shirt was, because now you go to Easter, come as you are. So
yeah.
So he didn't know what a dress shirt is.
They'll do a t-shirt and a new pair of jeans.
Gym shoes. So he don't know. He don't know. Ray and them don't know. No. Shaquana, she come with, some toe-up jeans and some gym shoes and a shirt, that and she even wear the little furry flip-flops to church. And so she doesn't know about those things. And so since she doesn't know about those things, she think it's acceptable for her to go on an interview or for her to do that. And so I think, coming back to what you were stating, that is a lost thing, because you should be able, I have a choice. Right. I have a choice of either dressing classy. I have a choice, because I know how to dress classy. I have a choice of wearing cultured pearls as opposed to wearing my little costume jewelry.
Right.
Because I have the knowledge of it. I have that choice. And I think when we don't do what your grandmother did and what your mom did, because I know your mom told you about slips and stuff, because I know your mama.
We wore slips.
I know your mama. She was like, you better go back up them steps. And if she didn't, she looked at Bib, and Bib told you, oh no, honey, let me take you upstairs.
That part we had all of the slips, and we wore the things, but we didn't have, like, every Sunday we weren't like, it was more traditional dress. It wasn't. We really kind of dressed up with the gloves and all that usually on Easter. So no, we wore slips.
But that's why I say,
going to church
and
without a slip on.
and see, that's what you're saying and what April is saying right now. I guess it's the old foginess. Yeah. That if we tell our children, no, you can't wear that. It's more so you giving them this choice now, and it's just the way of the world. It's just the way of the world, you know. I taught my daughter how to dress. She taught her daughters how to dress. You taught your son how to dress. But as time goes on,
the world teaches
them how to dress.
And they do have a choice, because I remember one winter, And I had to come to grips with it. I had to come to grips with it. My son wanted to wear some white jeans, and it was winter, to church.
That's all gone.
And I said, sir.
Forget that.
I said, sir. I said, you have the colors of a rainbow in your closet, and you mean to tell me you're going to wear white jeans in this winter? And he says, yes, Mama, I'm going to wear a red and white shirt, and I'm going to wear white jeans, and I'm going to wear my white gym shoes. Because it irked me.
I know. You have to close your eyes. Because, after Labor Day, no more white.
Not anymore, though.
But it's not anymore. Somebody probably looking at me right now talking about what that mean. But that was the, way of the world. But the world has changed, and we have to keep praying. We don't know what next year gonna hold for us. We don't know what the next week gonna hold for us. And with our children out here, and yes, my child is 40-something years old, but everybody's child is my child.
Yes.
So it pains me when somebody loses a child. It pains me, especially if it's somebody that I know. If that child is being disruptive, it pains me. So I have to pray for that child. I have to pray for that family. I have to pray for my neighbors. I have to pray for everybody.
So before you leave, because we got to let
read
that last part of the daily word, because people be like,
oh, I know, I didn't do my day. I was gonna do the daily bread today, y'all.
So read a portion of it right quick.
So real quick, March the 13th is called Warts and All. So that would have been a good one. But I'm just gonna read the question here. What faults do you find in others that are hard to accept or forgive? How can you follow God's example in the way you interact with others? And the prayer goes, loving God, show me my shortcomings or flaws that distract from letting others know who you are. Help me to be more patient and to love and forgive as you do. We may have to come back to warts and all, because we want God to show our shortcomings and our flaws. All right, everybody, it's been a ball. It's been a blast. This was a little impromptu in the office with G, but it was delightful. It was good. I never knew she didn't know.
I didn't.
Where pearls came from, but now she learned something. I know. I'm surprised she didn't bring it up on her.
I had YouTube. I had my Facebook Live. Okay. That's why, but that's okay. I'm gonna study it.
I know. Okay, so we'll see. She gonna know by next week.
Y'all better know I'm gonna have a strand of pearls by next year.
And see, I've been saying a string, but it's a strand of pearls. We all learn every day.
So don't go get a bulky set of pearls when they ask you for a strand. Okay, gotta go.
All right. With that being said, we shall see everybody here next Sunday at the same time, 9 a.m. Y'all have a pleasant week, and we'll see you again next Sunday.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you had an awesome time. Come back every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on ventradio.net. If you would like to support the show, be a guest, advertiser, or sponsor, just email me at janoris.charles@yahoo.com. You can also cash at me at $Miss Granberg, or call the station at area code 404-594-4772. Share the show and send your friends to the office with Miss G. See you next time.
And I will talk with you this week, Miss April.